A very good morning to all the students of class 11th political science. And students, welcome back to the online classes. As we are doing the second book of your syllabus, political theory, we were into the fifth chapter, that is rights. And as we have started the classes after your winter break, I had taken up the fourth part of this chapter, which was kinds of rights. So in that we had discussed about political rights, we had discussed about economic rights and cultural rights, and we had seen in detail the importance and significance of these kinds of rights. So today in this video we shall be starting and taking up with this part number 5 of this fifth chapter, and the topic which we will be covering today is rights and responsibilities. So we're going to discuss it generally, and there are four important points which you have to remember if you have to answer this question. Actually, this can be a direct question in your examination, that what do you understand by the term rights comes with responsibilities? You must have heard of this term many times. Normally teachers also tell you, at home parents also tell you, that whenever you are given some important rights and powers, you also get some responsibilities along with that. Okay, so you can understand this topic in that manner. So as normally understanding this chapter of rights, we have come to know that whenever we can claim rights, actually as a citizen we claim rights from our state, from our government. As a citizen we claim basic important rights for every citizen. So when we can claim rights, it means we have the power. If we have the power, so in place of rights we can also use power. Okay, so rights, indirectly we can say we have the powers. As a citizen we are given some powers by the state to grow ourselves positively, and have all the opportunities as a citizen living under a particular territory. Okay, so if we can you also use powers on place of rights, so there can be a term that powers comes with responsibility. Okay, so we'll try and understand this now. Rights not only place obligations upon the states to act in a certain way. For instance, as we know, rights always has put obligations where the citizen claims various powers and needs demands through the government. For instance, we ensure sustainable development. Every citizen wants sustainable development, but along with the work and the efforts of the government or the state, it is also the responsibility of the citizen. While exercising our rights, we also have to have some responsibility towards our society, so towards our community. So let's try and understand that. Let's see this example of sustainable development. They also place obligation upon each of us. If when we talk about sustainable development, there are various steps taken towards sustainable development. Different policies, programs have been brought up by the government, but along with that there are various certain responsibility of each individual also in this particular field. So firstly, they compel us to think not just of our own personal needs and interests, but also defend our some things as being good for all of us. So as we are getting rights, we are exercising our fundamental rights and all the rights which we have got, but along with that we also should focus that we should also look for we should not just look for our personal needs or self motive or self interest. We should also work for the good of the whole community, that is being good for all of us. We should take some initiative which is good for all the people around us, for the whole community. For example, protecting the ozone layer. Okay, protecting the ozone layer, minimizing air and water pollution, minimizing the green cover by planting new trees. So there are various steps which and as we know, there is always some difference when a single human being, a citizen, will change his lifestyle. If we will take various steps where we can reduce water pollution, air pollution, we can use various methods where we can protect our ozone layer. We can avoid cutting off plants. In fact, we can plant various trees. So these are the small efforts which can make huge changes if this becomes the lifestyle of maximum of the population. Okay, so maintaining the ecological balance. If you have to maintain the ecological balance, so we should try and avoid creating air pollution, water pollution, cutting down of trees. Okay, so these are some of the essential steps which an individual can take. They represent the common good. If we say these can represent a common good, and we must act to protect ourselves as well as for the future generation. So if we are protecting all this, so we are doing good for our community as well as we are protecting these resources and environment for the future generation. That is why we are studying it under sustainable development, where we use the resources according to our need, but also we save them for the upcoming generations. So they are also, because they are also entitled as a human being, if they are born on earth, they are also entitled to inherit and safe and clean world, without which they cannot lead to a reasonably good life. So it becomes a responsibility of each and every citizen in the society, in a country, in a state, to act in a responsible manner, act for the common good of the whole society by taking and participating in this manner. So this is the first part. When we say rights comes with responsibility, okay, we have got rights, we have got powers, okay, given by the government, but there are various programs run by the government on which we can play a very important role if a citizen wants. Okay, so this was the first part when we can take under rights and responsibilities. Let's move to the second part. Let's see what we have in the second part. Secondly, they require that I respect the rights of others. What do we understand by rights? Rights also require that I respect the rights of others. If I want, my rights should be respected. I should be given fundamental rights, right to freedom, right to speech and expression, etc. In that, I will also have to provide same respect, same dignity, same rights to the other people around me. It means the way I want the people to behave with me, I should also behave in the same manner with the other people in the society. So if I say I must be given the right to express my views, I must also grant the same rights to others. Okay, I want that I should be given the right to express my views freely. It means whenever I will get the opportunity, I will be in such a position, I will also give the same freedom or right to expression to other people. If I do not want others to interfere in my choice I make, the dress I wear, the music I listen to, etc., I must refrain from interfering. If I want, I should be given freedom for choosing my lifestyle, my clothing, my type of places I want to travel, anything. The subjects like you want to select, you don't want your parents, it means in future you should not also interfere in the choices of the other people. I must leave them free to choose their music and clothes. These are just example. Generally, we are talking about. I cannot use the rights to free. I cannot use the right to free speech to incite a crowd to kill my neighbor. So okay, so there is also some constraints and limitations on our rights. Rights does not mean that we can do anything which we want. Rights means we cannot harm other people's right. We should not be involved in such a way where we violate the rights of other people. So by the meaning of right, we are getting the powers, so it should be under some limitations. Our powers doesn't mean we can do anything. In exercising my rights, this is important. Whenever I'm exercising my rights, I cannot deprive others of their rights. I should keep in mind that I should not be harming or violating the rights of the other people in any way or the other. My rights are, in other words, limited by the principle of equal and same rights for all. So my rights are, in other words, can be limited by the principle as equal and same rights are there for everyone. Okay, if same rights I want, the way I want to be treated, the other people also should be treated in the same way. So my behavior should not be in any way, should not harm the freedom and rights of the other people. So this was the second point. Let's move to the third point. Okay, thirdly, we must balance our rights when they come into conflict. So this is very important. When we come into conflict, for example, from the example you will be able to understand this term. First you read this properly. We must balance our rights, we will have to balance our rights whenever our rights will come into conflict. Let's see what kind of conflict can be there with our rights. My right to freedom of expression. Okay, I'm a citizen, I have the right to freedom of expression, allows me to take picture. Okay, with this they have taken an example. I have the freedom, I can travel to any place, I can take pictures. As you know, in the modern period, this photography has grown so wide that everywhere you will find people taking pictures. But okay, we have this freedom of expression, that we can take pictures anywhere. However, if I take the pictures of a person bathing in his house without his consent and post them on internet, can you imagine? It doesn't mean if I have the right to move freely, I have the right to freedom of expression, I have the right to equality. It doesn't mean I will take picture of a person in his private region where he has the right to privacy, and I will post those pictures on internet. That would be a violation of his rights of privacy. It means we are violating the right of the other person. Which right? We are violating the right to privacy of the other person. It means my rights are rights. It does not mean I will violate the rights of the other people. So by this example you can understand, always there are some limitations and constraints which are put on the rights. So we will have to understand that properly. It doesn't mean if I have the right to freedom to move freely, I can go anywhere, I can do anything. I should enjoy and exercise my rights in such a manner that I do not violate and harm or deteriorate the rights of the other people anyhow. So this is the third point when we talk about the rights and responsibilities. And basically rights comes with responsibilities. If you are, suppose you are appointed as the monitor or the captain or the house captain or the sports captain of your school, of your class, whatever. So okay, you have got that power, you have got that right, you are the monitor, you are the captain, but along with that you will have lot of responsibilities, lot of roles you will have to play. If anything goes wrong, many questions will be asked from you. So by that examples also you can understand the rights always comes with responsibilities, and we are studying various factors under this rights and responsibilities. So 3 points we have understood. Now we'll move forward to the fourth point. So fourth point is, citizens must be vigilant about limitations which may be placed on their rights. So when we are talking about rights and limitations or constraints put on the rights, so we should, as a citizen, we should be very vigilant, we should be very cautious that what the government is doing, is the government using its powers positively, or government is misusing the its powers, or so we have to be a vigilant citizen. For example, a currently debated topic concerns the increased restrictions which may government are imposing on the civil liberties on citizens on the ground of national security. As there are debates going on that our government is imposing lot of restrictions and constraints on the civil liberties, like right to equality, freedom, right to expression of speech. So all these lot of restrictions have been imposed on the civil liberties of the citizens on the grounds of national security. Okay, national importance and national interest and national security is the most important thing for any nation. For that anything can be sacrificed. But we will have to be more vigilant that is the government not unnecessarily imposing these civil liberties, limitations on these civil liberties. So we'll have to be vigilant that is there really requirement of imposition of these restrictions on the rights of the citizens or not, or just government on the name of or the sake of national security is just misusing its power. So we'll have to understand that protecting national security must be defended as necessary for safeguarding the rights as well as being of citizens. But at what point could the restriction imposed as necessary for security themselves becomes a threat to the rights? But we'll have to understand that national security is must, but is the government misusing its power, or is there necessary, it is necessary or not? If it's not necessary, so we'll have to see that there can be a threat to the rights of the people. So it means there can be a situation of the emergency where government will have all the powers and it will exercise the powers according to its wish. So as a citizen we should be very vigilant, we should be very aware about the things going around us. So Should a country facing the threat of terrorist bombing be allowed to curtail? So there are some questions put forward that if any country is facing the threat from a terrorist group for bombing a particular region, so at that region, various liberties or the rights of the citizens should be restricted. Should it be allowed to arrest people? Should the government be allowed to arrest people just on the basis of suspicion? Should it be allowed to intercept their mail or tap? Can it intercept or trap our phones? Should it be allowed to use torture or to extract confessions? For the confessions, should the government or the police be allowed to torture the people? So all these questions are put forward. So in that region, we will have to be always very vigilant that what the government is doing. Although we expect that government is working for the good of the people in a democratic country like India, but still we need to be very cautious that what type of powers government is exercising, what type of limitations are put on our rights, and if the powers are restrictions are put, are they correct or not, are they necessary or not. So we'll have to understand all that. Same things you will find here when I'm talking about the government or misusing its power. Same thing you'll find here. We need to be very cautious. In such situations, the question to ask is whether the person concerned poses an imminent threat to society. Even arrested persons should be allowed legal counsel and the opportunity to present their case before the magistrate or a court of law. It means arrested person who is accused of any crime should is also given some powers according to the law, where he is presented in front of the magistrate of a or a court of law. We need to be extremely cautious about giving government power. Okay, we have elected our representatives, we have formed a government at the center and at the state levels, but again we have to be very cautious when we are giving powers to government, which could be used to curtail the civil. And this power government can also use to restrict or curtail the civil liberties or the rights, basic rights of all the individuals. For such power can be misused. It means the government can also misuse its power. And although we have elected our representative, we have elected the government, but we'll have to see government does not misuse its power. Government can become authoritarian, and if we are not cautious, if we are not vigilant citizens, and in that case government can become a dictatorship or a authoritarian and undermine the very reason for which government exists, namely the well-being of the members of the state. Hence, even though rights can never be absolute, we need to be vigilant in protecting our rights. So as a citizen we need to be vigilant in protecting our rights and those of others, for they form the basis of a democratic society. Although we will have to understand the importance of nation, that there are various national interests which are of the major importance, and for that any restrictions are basically a citizen has to accept that if there is a requirement. But we'll also have to see that government does not just misuse its power when it comes to the putting restrictions or imposing some restrictions or limitations on the civil liberties of citizens. So this was all about when we talk about rights and responsibilities. It means we have rights, we have got the powers, okay, but along with that we have many responsibilities as a citizen for our country, to protect our society, to protect our community. Okay, so I hope you have understood that. Thank you so much. With this we are ending with this video.